Better to have a short life that is full of what you like doing than a long life spent in a miserable way.
All right, Ash Apollon, welcome to Footwork.
Appreciate you having me.
A little different today. We're missing my co-host Dylan Williams, but better in person, keep the quality.
Perfect.
Our motto here at Footwork is make your own path. As someone who's played in multiple continents and countries, what does make your own path mean to you?
To be honest, my life is a true definition of make your own path because, I mean, where I came from and how I started playing pro and everything is so, how do you call it? Everything was out of the norm. It was not like a normal professional footballer where you go through the academies and things like that. My path was completely different, and I didn't start playing soccer till I was way older. So I had to find my own ways of, finding success and really living my dream. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And to give a brief background before we dive deeper, who are you, where were you, and where are you going?
Well, Ashkanov Apollon, 33-year-old professional soccer player. I've been all over the world, Asia, Thailand, Vietnam, France, Germany, Malaysia. I've been everywhere. And really just living my dream, trying to make the best out of the cards I've been dealt. And yeah.
Why do you play?
First of all, I play for joy.
Okay.
When I fell in love with this game, I realized how much I'm in love with it, and I play because I really love the game. At some point, you do also play for money, but I'm way past that point now. The only thing that keeps me going now is because I really love the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were born in Boston, but then you moved to Haiti
Yeah.
as a kid.
Yeah.
And then you didn't start playing soccer until you were 17.
Yes, correct.
Please walk us through that.
So my mom and dad. So my mom lived in Boston. She was working there. I was born in Boston. My dad was working in a cruise ship, so he was always traveling and stuff. When I was little, I would go to Haiti. They would take me to Haiti on vacation, sometimes for a couple months. But I was growing up in the U.S. and where I was, I don't think my school had any soccer activities. So it was always, the regular baseball, basketball. I played basketball, track, and stuff like that. It's not till I moved to Haiti when I was like 16 and a half. Like permanently, I moved for like 4 years, and that's when I picked up the passion, Because when I got to Haiti, it's like everywhere there's games playing. You never
Right.
see an empty field, so it's the number one passion over there, and it was completely different than what I was used to here in the States.
Right.
So I think that is when it started, because my dad played, but I wasn't living with him, so he didn't
Right.
really instill that in me, like, oh, let's train and things like that. I was with my mom. And yeah, when we all moved to Haiti together, that's when it started.
Right.
I only wanted to play soccer, but I had never played before, so I had no idea. Was I going to be good? Was I not going to be good?
Right.
So it's crazy. Very, very late bloomer.
Yeah, and now, how was that? How did you? So first off, for our listeners, you still got the wheels.
Yes.
You're fast.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
a big strength of yours.
Yes,
Did you
for
do track as a child?
Yeah, I did track. I always ran. I was always fast. Whatever sport I did. When I did
Right.
baseball, I was always fast, stealing bases and things
Right.
like that. So I was always athletic, very athletic.
Right.
But yeah, I never played soccer. Yeah.
And when did it become serious? Like, okay, maybe I could play professional soccer.
So I moved to Haiti, and my dad was well known in Haiti, and
Okay.
he was a good player. Obviously, with different opportunities, he didn't get to go, obviously, as far as I've gone.
Right.
But that's the joke we always have. Like, I want to go further than you. I want my kids to go further than me, and things like that. But it started where in the neighborhood, people know who my dad is, and there was a club called Union NAC in a city called Canapé Vert in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. And my dad was like, I'm going to take you to to the club, you know, if you want to play soccer and stuff like that. Because I'm like, yeah, I'm interested. I'd really love to. So when he took me there, everyone was like, oh, my dad's name is Roni. He's like, Roni's bringing his son here, so it's like good. His son's probably good, came from the United States or whatever. And when I get there, I'm like, I never played. So they're like, what position do you play? I'm like, I don't know. I've never
And when
played.
you say you've never played, like you've really never touched a soccer ball?
I mean, I probably kicked
Or
the
not
ball
in a
before,
formal setting?
I mean, not in almost any setting, because all balls I've played with are basketballs, baseballs, maybe sometimes volleyball, but never. I was never in any soccer environment.
Right.
I know what a soccer ball is. I never really watched it on TV, nothing.
That's so crazy.
It's crazy. So I'm in this country, and this is all everybody wants to do.
And this is your 17 at the time? 16,
yeah, 16
17?
and a half. Yeah, 16 and a half. And that's what everybody wants to do. Right. And can you imagine, I'm in this environment, I'm like, oh, what? This is exciting. I'm interesting. I know my dad played, but like, so how can I get into this? So dad takes me to this club, and they say, what position do you play? And I look at my dad, I'm like, I don't know. I've never played. I said, but I'm fast. And I'm left-footed. That I knew. And then
those are two big strengths right there.
And they said, oh, okay, maybe
we have a spot for you.
Maybe left winger.
Right.
So at that point, so we would start training, and I'm like, I don't want the ball. Like, put me in, I'll run, but don't give me the ball because I don't know what to do. And then my dad was shocked. He's like, I cannot believe you don't know how to play or you didn't play.
Right.
So he's like, okay, I'm gonna train you. And then from that moment on, just training.
Just training the basics.
Basics.
Right. The
things I need to learn. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, maybe I had it in me, and I picked it up so fast.
Right.
Just the technique, controlling the ball, passing, things like that. And within like 6 months, I was starting for that team.
For that team.
For that.
So that's when it began.
Team. That's when it began. Yeah.
And even at that club, you thought, okay, maybe I can make this.
At that point, I was like, this is all I want to do. Like, I'm so intrigued by football at that point. And I'm like, they're like, how come I've never done this? How come I've never tried this?
It's crazy.
It's crazy. And for me, it's like, what an opportunity. I'm going to give it all, and I'm going to... And at that point, I was already thinking, because they wanted me to have the experience of living in Haiti, have an education where, you know, you grow up respectful, you grow up grateful and stuff like that, and not just being used to the USA norm or whatever. So for me, I think that helped me, and I'm grateful it did, because I kind of changed the path of, you know, how I started to think moving forward. And I believe from that point on, I was like, once I get back to the U.S., that's what I'm going to try to pursue. Try to get on a team. Where? How? I have no idea how this works. Listen, I'm just getting into it. I have no idea. But in my mind, I'm like, once I get back to the U.S., once I'm done with school here, I want to play soccer. Yeah.
So then you play in Haiti.
I play in Haiti. So I play at that point for that club.
Right.
And then I play for my
Which is just a youth club.
Which is just a youth club. Yeah, it was a U17 at that point. Then I grew out of the U17. I can't play for U17 anymore.
Right.
And that club was very good at that. Like, some clubs around, they would play players that are over age, but that club was very good at playing the players that are of age and stuff like that. So I played U17, then U19s, and then I was playing for my high school. At that time.
In Haiti.
In Haiti. And then we go and play against other high schools.
And how was high school?
It was amazing. It was great. High school, like
huge fans, everyone's coming to watch the game.
I'm telling you, this is the only sport they love and hate. That's the one thing. You cannot go to, like, I would be at home. How it started for me, I would be at home and I would hear people celebrating. And I'm like, what's going on? And my dad's like, oh, it's the field nearby. People are playing. And you can hear the whistles. And I would go there, field is packed. And you have teams after teams after teams waiting for next. So there's so many people that are trying to play. You have to play a certain amount of time, or first goal wins.
And winner stays on.
And winner stays on. And, like, you have to bring your own team. And when I first went there, I was like, I couldn't even get in to play because nobody knows me. I don't know how to play. Like, So it's crazy. So the passion is really that. So in high school, when we have break from class, once we have recess, that's what we go do. We play soccer in the yard. and then we go back all sweaty back to our classroom after school. Soccer
again.
So yeah, I had to have a deal with my parents. Yes, you can play, but once you get out of school, you finish your homework, and then you're free.
Right.
You're free to go play. So yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have that soccer culture, but then you come back to the U.S.
And that's
you
when
lose that.
You lose that for sure. It's
Big
completely
time.
different.
Right.
Because then I realized, because I was living in the U.S. and I didn't realize it because I was not into it. Then I go there and I come back to the U.S. and I'm realizing, oh my God, I'm looking at this nice field. Nobody's there.
using it. Right.
No, I'm like, you don't understand how much somebody in Haiti would give to have that field right now. I'm like, there's no way this field is empty.
Right.
And I'm like, are people allowed to use the field? And they're like, yeah. But in Haiti, we have too many people and not enough fields.
Right.
So the transition was a little bit interesting because my parents are not very savvy when it comes to that. My dad never played here. He doesn't know the ins and outs, whether it's college or professional. My mom, nothing.
Right.
So when I was moving back to the States, I was like, okay, I'm going to go back, trying to go to finish school, go to college. I finished high school in Haiti, so
you finished high school in Haiti, and you're thinking maybe college.
I'm thinking, yeah. So then by the time I finished high school, I'm really good. Like, went to national team ID camp, all of that stuff in Haiti. Played in the national stadium. My high school made a final.
This is astonishing. All in 3 years.
Yes, crazy. I made the final with my high school. I scored 2 goals in the final. I was playing like striker at that time, striker and winger, and it's super exciting. And I'm like, you know what? It's time to go back to the U.S. Maybe I can do something with this. Right. And then people start thinking. So I started talking with one of my uncles, and he was living in Florida at the time. Okay, he had his family living in a small house. I would have to share a room with his son, but then I was supposed to be going to college over there. So we come from humble beginnings, so it doesn't bother me as long as I'm back in the States now. I've had my education, and I want to continue and then find a way for soccer. So when I came, I was talking to my uncle. He was like, "Yes, I don't know if this school has a soccer program, but this." So then now they have to transfer my high school diploma. They have to take that. Then I have to try to apply to some colleges, and I find now it's more complicated than you think. It's not just that easy. So then they're looking at a community college to put me in because colleges are so expensive and. I'm like, but I've heard in the U.S. you can use soccer to help you with college and stuff. And to be honest, one of my uncles that was living in Portland, Oregon, he calls. He's like, I have an apartment by myself. I live here. My daughter's here with me, but sometimes she's not there. So you can send him. And there's a school right across the street from me.
University.
And, yes, university.
Or college, community college.
Yes. Whatever. And he's like, he can maybe try to play soccer there. I'm following the adults. I have no idea what's going on. I'm like completely oblivious, and I'm like, okay, cool, Oregon. I don't know where that is, but cool. Let's go to Oregon. So then I pack my stuff. They book me a flight. I'm in Oregon. So I go, I meet my uncle. Then I'm like, okay. So I go to that college, try to get information and enroll. And then it was it was called Portland Community College. It was not like a university, but it was a big community college because they had like 5 campuses in Portland. So overall, they had so many students. So a lot of people would transfer from that college into a bigger school like University of Portland and things like that. So when I got there, then I found out that school doesn't have a soccer team. Like, they don't have a soccer program.
This community college.
It's community college. They don't have it. They have a basketball team. They have other things.
You find that once you're there. Right?
Once I'm there. So, because my uncle he didn't know as well. He's not very educated either. He's trying to help, and he thinks, oh yeah, I think they have soccer because he sees a soccer field. But the soccer field that was there was actually a high school soccer field that's next door. Anyways, I get information, but in Portland you have the Portland Timbers.
Yeah.
Okay. So at that time, I'm like trying to find ways because, like I said, my path is completely different. Like I already started playing really late. I have no guidance, no idea where to go, how I'm doing it. I don't have an agent, but that time I'm already 19. Like, it's different. It's not like that simple anymore.
Yeah.
So while I'm in Portland, I start playing for my uncle knew somebody who knew a club, but it's just like men's league really they're playing. But apparently they were the best club in the region. They call it International Portland Select, IPS. And I started playing for them. And I'm trying to find a path to either go pro and also to play in college, because they said here you can go to college, play in college, and then transfer to playing pro. And then, man, this story is crazy. It's crazy, Sean. You don't understand.
And this is already crazy.
No, it's crazy. So there's a Haitian guy that signed with Portland Timbers.
Okay.
And I know him.
Personally?
Personally.
From the
I know
national
him.
team?
From the national team. He plays for the national. So he signed for Portland Timbers. So I get in touch with him. And then there's also another guy I met while I was in the community. His name is Footy Dunzo. So I talked to these guys, and I'm like, how can I help me get into the U23 Portland Timbers team?
Right.
And then I think Jim Riley was a coach at that time. So they basically told me, yeah, we'll talk to the coach, and then maybe you can come and train. You know what I mean? So yeah, from that point on, I go to Portland Timbers training. I start training, okay?
Just because of this Haitian...
Just because of these guys, exactly. That's the first connection. So then I start training, and then now I'm really testing myself against actual guys who are professionals or who are in a path or under a professional team.
Right.
Like the environment is completely different. Everything is proper, organized. Like you come in, this is the first time I walked in somewhere. It's like you see a whole boot room. It's like I'm seeing new things for the first time. You're training at the big stadium, and I'm like, wow, this is nice, you know. Anyways, we start. I start preseason with them. They had just won, like the PDL. They were playing in the PDL at that time. They had won the PDL either the year before or like very recently. So then I'm like trying to get into that team. So I also had another hobby of playing pool.
Yeah.
I started playing pool. I learned what I was in that college because I didn't know the game in Portland.
Okay.
And the student center, there's pool, and then I would go to the student center to study, and then I hear like the sound, like every time. I'm like, this is so annoying. Why are you guys doing that? And what is this game, anyways? And then I got introduced to it, and then I started playing pool. All of a sudden, I like everything new to me. I start liking it, and then I get good at it. I don't know. So I really love pool. So I needed to wait till I was 21 to be able to go into bar, because that's where the tournaments are, like money tournaments. You pay to get in, but it's only happening at bars, so you need to be 21 to get in. So randomly, like a year and a half passes, and I'm still not doing soccer. I'm trying to do soccer seriously, but I'm not really having the opportunity because I'm not sure where to go, which door to knock and stuff. So I'm over there at this Trader Joe's waiting for the time to go play the pool tournament. And one of the guys that I play with for this IPS team, he walks into Trader Joe's, and we were talking. And all of a sudden,
the guy on this PDL team.
No, he's not in the PDL team. He's on the other team, the IPS team, the men's league team.
Gotcha,
so he played there, so
team.
he knows who I am, and he's a veteran player. We're talking, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go play a pool tournament, blah blah blah, and we're talking about soccer in general. And then I see these guys walk in. They have like track suits on, like soccer ball, and I'm like, what is that? You know, like that's pretty cool. And then as we talked, then I think they were talking to someone, and then when they're done, I'm like, hey, I see. Where are you guys from? They're like, oh, we're from Washington, blah blah blah, and we were just interviewing a kid that we're looking to recruit and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, so you guys have a soccer team, like good soccer team? He's like, yeah, we won the league there. We won that blah blah blah. He's like, do you play? And then he said, do you play? Are you any good? And it was Coach Andrew Chapman, I remember. And the guy that was with me, he said, can he play? You better talk to him and try to get him to your school, because he's looking for a school to play for and stuff like that. And they said, where are you going right now? What are you doing right now? Blah, blah, blah. So we exchange contact and say, hey, we can arrange for a visit. And I was like, that would be awesome. And I'm like, you know, so I have my friend Palto at that time.
But the serendipity of all this is crazy.
I said, hey, look at this. I'm literally at Trader Joe's and I'm getting recruited at Trader Joe's. And I said, hey, you're gonna have to drive me to, at that time, it was for Portland Community College, not Portland, Peninsula College.
Okay.
Up in Port Angeles, Washington. And it's like about a 5-hour drive from Portland. And I'm like, you gotta take me to Washington. We spent a weekend there. They already have a place arranged for me, and I'm gonna go and train with the team and visit and see if I like it and see if I want to go there. And then they have to also see if I'm good.
Right.
So then I go there. I'm so excited. I get there, and the next day's training. I go, everything's very nice, and we start training, and we're playing 11v11s. You know, I score again, and the guys are like, did we like really just recruited like our best player at Trader Joe's? And I'm telling you, it's crazy. And for me, I'm like, it's things I had never experienced. So for them, they're like, damn, I hope we can convince him to come to us. And me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So then we talked to coach. They're like, unbelievable. He's like, where have you been? How are you not playing in this? So I tell them my story.
Right.
And then the first thing he said, you are such an anomaly. He's like, that's no. He said people play since they're like 5 years old and they're not as good as you and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, thank you, I appreciate it, but you know, I wanted to do so much, and unfortunately I didn't have guidance for the last couple of years, so I'm trying to find something this year. So
now the coach is walking it out for you. So this is the plan.
Basically, the coach is telling me this is the plan, this is how it is, and he's like, we are the best. He's like, we are the best. If you're starting at community college, he said, we are the best community college you can go to and then to transfer to a first team because we have a good program. We always win games, and teams are always looking to recruit good players. And he said, my friend, you're very good. If you have a good season with us, you can leave. So in my head, I was always education first and then soccer next because I started into soccer late anyways. I had moved to Haiti anyways in the first place, you know, for education, and then came back here, wanted to continue my education, but not interested in soccer. So I'm like, okay, I get it, I understand, but like, yeah, I gotta make sure my grades are right. He's like, yeah, your grades have to be right because then you can't transfer there, you can. And he's like, if a lot of teams want you, then you can pick, but if your grades are good, then you have more options and things like that. So I go on to play for them. Everything is perfect, and
so you wind up going to this college.
I end up going to this college. I mean, at that point, that's my only option. Like, I don't know anything else, and I'm like, it's like God sent them because how is it that I'm right there at this specific time and get to meet these people while I'm in the search of trying to play for a team? So then we end up winning that season, and I finished with 16 goals and 15 assists.
Okay.
And to them, they're like, you don't understand like what this means. And now they started.
And also, you still don't understand what that means.
I still don't understand what that means. Yeah, I'm just like, okay, I'm just having fun. Like I have an opportunity to show my talent, and I have an opportunity to be somewhere where the coach values me, where I can learn about life and and make different experiences and stuff like that. Like I have a roof over my head. I'm like, I can think about future and helping my family. I'm getting an education for free, things like that. So I'm in the moon, man. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like surreal moment for me. So while I was in Portland, I was in touch with a guy called Obatola Gabriel. He was playing in Asia before, and then he had signed for Portland Timbers as well. And we had stayed in touch, and when I was in Portland, we used to train together and stuff like that. And then he was always telling me, you're a good player, like keep in touch. You never know where our paths can cross, or maybe I can help you or something like that. Anyways, I start, like you said, I played that year. And I also played like PDL for Sounders, and also played PDL for a team called Kitsa Pumas at that time. And now UCLA, UW, so many different colleges, they want me. And I'm like, what does this mean? You know, like the time that I got recruited though, there's another thing I didn't know. So, you know, I'm already here a couple years. And I started college, and I was told that in the United States you have a clock. So once you start college, you have a certain amount of years that you can play. So now I only have a certain amount of eligibility left, like 2 years or something like that. So, or a year and a half. I don't remember what it was exactly, but I had already been going to college for 3 years. And I think you have a 5-year window to play 4 years.
Okay.
Okay. So now I'm left with 2 years left, and all these teams want me. And I remember I went to visit this Division II team in Florida because I really liked what the coach was saying, and I wanted to be in Florida, close to Haiti, because it's a quick flight over.
Yeah.
But my college coach would tell me, well, it's a Division II team. You shouldn't go to a Division II team. You should answer to the Division I teams that want you and stuff like that. And it's like I'm going over my head and like, yeah, we would do this, we'd do that. And at that point, looking back at it, I have no regrets, but I feel like I probably should have done that. I probably should have transferred to one of those D1 teams, play out another 2 seasons, maybe 1, and then get in the draft. Because I feel like I would have done so well. Like, that would have been the path. But
now you say that. I'm going to stop you here for a second. You say that because, okay, you would have done that and then you maybe would have got drafted. So that would be your route to the MLS.
that would be my route to the MLS.
But you didn't, and you still had you have an amazing career.
Yes.
You haven't played in the MLS, granted.
Right.
But you feel like, okay, maybe that would have been the opportunity to get in the
Yes,
MLS.
looking back at it, because you never know. Looking back at it, like, there's so many things I've learned that now, with my kids, if they decide they want to play the game in the future or whatever, then I know how to guide them or,
Sure.
Because there's a lot I didn't know.
Right.
And I feel like maybe if I had somebody guiding me or like helping me to make those decisions, I probably would have gone that route, knowing what I know now and seeing how the MLS is now. Obviously, it wasn't necessarily like that, but I could have been 7-8 year vet in the MLS.
Right.
Could have been,
sure.
if I had taken that route. Because the schools that wanted me, for sure, like, people transfer.
They send players to MLS constantly.
Constantly. Sure. And so there's no way to know, but it's just a feeling I have, But that wasn't, I guess that wasn't the path that was meant for me. Let's just say that. So I'm in touch with that guy from Portland, and he's constantly telling me, man, you should come to Asia. Man, you should come to Asia. He's like, you're a good player. I'm telling you, you should come to Asia. You make a lot of money. So I keep thinking about that. I'm like, I was always telling him, no, I'll wait. Like, let me wait. Because maybe, no, let me wait. Like, let me finish school and things like that. So at that point, I was in the middle of, okay, do I want to go another year in college, or can I just go pro directly? And the opportunity came where he had connected me with his agent, and they said, and they obviously have my videos from college and all that stuff. They say, hey, we think you can play and you should definitely come. And I made this decision, doing also something I've never done before. I've left the country because I've gone to Haiti and stuff, but like completely on my own. It's never
on your radar.
On my radar.
To Thailand.
On my own. Flying across the world to go to Asia and going to Thailand, like, the culture shock for me was like another level.
I bet.
So I decided, okay, you know what? I'm gonna try this. Let's go. It was the perfect timing because the season in Thailand or in Asia at that time runs the same as the season here in the U.S. So like when it's winter time, it's like off season, and then you start January preparing and stuff like that. It was the same. So I went around the mid-season time. It wasn't around the winter, because I believe in college we played spring and fall.
Yep.
During the summertime,
Correct.
we didn't. The summertime normally
Summertime
is
is
like
PDL.
it's PDL and stuff. So during that season, you know what? I'm not gonna go play PDL. Let me just try and see what these guys are talking about. They seem to know. So my friend ends up buying the ticket for me to come, and he takes me into his house and stuff.
And there's no contract yet. It's just come out.
There's no
for a trial.
contract. Come out and see what we can find you, basically.
Right. And he's playing where at the time?
He was playing for Rayong. FC
Okay,
at
in
the
the-
time.
in
But,
T2.
Yeah, in T2. But it was a big team in T2. But he was in a Thai league team, a League One team, and he had, people like move around so much in those
Sure,
teams,
sure.
but he had something with the owner and he wanted out. And then he was playing like for Pattaya United, playing for some big team. And then he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go play to that team. I have some problems with the team. This team is gonna give me a certain amount of money. Let me do that. So I go to like a couple of his games, and I'm like, I'm seeing the passion now, like these Asian people have. I'm
Right.
like, wow, like this is kind of what I'm used to. These people
Right. More
like
similar
soccer.
to Haiti.
Yeah, it's more similar to Haiti than the U.S. Like these people like soccer. Like it's interesting. So he ended up leaving that team, Rayong, and now looking for a new club. Okay?
Also in this summer.
Also
this
in
season.
that same period of time.
Right.
Okay. So he's like, he wants to leave. He got bought out or something like that, or he got like a certain portion of his salary, and then we went to Bangkok. So when we got to Bangkok, I was like, okay, this is interesting. Like I'm seeing all new stuff, like I mean, like the way people live. But the first thing I noticed about Thai people is like so extremely respectful. I love that culture.
Yeah.
It's like everybody is like, talk with
Yeah.
respect and stuff like that. And given how I was raised in Haiti, I felt like, connected in a way. So now his agent has a trial for him at this team called Air Force United, right? His agent has a trial for him. Me, I'm just there.
You're just hanging out.
I'm just hanging out. Literally just hanging out. Like, okay, seeing what's going on. Since I'm new, maybe they're going to start me with, a lower team or
Right.
something like that, trying to get, my toes in the water.
Right.
So I go there and I always have my boots with me. I'm always ready,
course.
So
Tip number one.
Yeah, tip number one. Always be ready.
Always come
Boots
with you.
always
No matter
come
where
with
you are in the
yeah?
world, the boots are there.
So he's a big striker at the time. He's very well known, and they were having a friendly that team, and they just want him to have like a couple minutes on the field.
Yeah.
Before
don't need to really
they
see
don't
him.
need to really see him. And then I was wearing like a Portland Timber shirt, like a cut off, like I was like fit, looking good, like, and they're like, okay, so who's this guy? You know what I mean? And then he said, oh yeah, he's his friend. He's also looking for a team.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, can he play today? And I'm like, oh yes, I can play today. I'm
Yeah.
ready. And they ended up putting me in the second half. But let's listen to this. So my friend started that game. Game was 0-0. Okay? I come in second half, left winger. Okay? My friend's playing striker. Come in, first 5 minutes, we get in action, he gets a ball, puts it down, I make a run, he plays me, score. Goal, way up 1-0.
The contract's there already.
I get another chance, cross, he scores 2-0. They're like,
Yeah.
why didn't you tell us, like, this player, like, why would you bring him and not if you
Yeah,
know
tell
he
us
was
about
this
him.
good?
Yeah.
Yes, tell us about him. And out of nowhere, bro, I get that opportunity. I signed for that team. I mean, that same day they offered us
Yeah,
the contract
yeah,
on
yeah.
the table. But we end up signing for the same team. I mean, like, where in the world does that happen? I'm over here looking up to this guy. I'm like, oh, he's looking for a team now. Now I'm following him to wait to hoping he gets a team. Then
Yeah.
now they can focus and try and find me a team.
Yeah.
And then we end up signing for the same team.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. I'm telling you. So that's where my professional career started.
That's
in
nuts.
Thailand. So we signed for this team, and it's amazing. And then now we're talking about Thai League. Like, okay, like that's the goal. Like he's like, you want to go Thai League. He's like, you're good enough to play Thai League. And
Meaning the first league there
Meaning
in
it's the
Thailand.
first league there.
Right.
Yeah. So we played in the same stadium that a Thai League team played for. Air Force. So we were basically the second team of the Air Force. But in Asia there's promotion relegation.
Yeah.
So you can always go up and things like that, and also teams can always pick you up or whatever. But when they signed me and I saw what the numbers were, and I was like, I couldn't believe it, because I'm like, I had never made I worked a little bit in college, but like I'd never seen that kind of money in front
Right.
of me, you know what I mean? And at that point, I'm shocked. You know, I'm like, I can't believe it. I'm like, you know, first thing I think, you know, I'm a family-oriented guy. I'm like thinking, I can help my family, I can help my friends. Like, I'm thinking that way, you know.
Right.
So I'm excited. I started my professional career there, and my friend went on. He moved to another team somewhere else. I stayed in that team. Then the next year, I got transferred to a different team. Okay, but during the off season, I did come to the U.S. For a little bit. And while I was in the U.S., I was trying to figure out, okay, can I maybe get into a team here in the U.S.? And that's when I started playing with Seattle Sounders. I started training with them. Let me be specific. Started training with them, and I was good enough.
That's U23. That's USL Championship at the time.
Yeah, USL Championship. Right. They're called S2 at that time.
Yeah.
So I'm training with them. That was like 2014, 2015. I'm training with them, and the guys that are like really good or good enough, they sometimes bring you to train with the first team.
Right.
I was hated going to the first team. I was like, it was always exciting, but I was hated because I was an attacking player. And whenever I moved to the first team, they obviously have to give priority to the players that are in the first team. So sometimes I find myself playing left back or something like that. You know, I'm like, I hate this position. Like, what the heck? Yeah. Like, I don't want to play that position. I don't want to defend. I want to attack. Let me show you what I can do. Because all my life, I've been, like, since I've started learning how to play.
And it's still at this point, it seems like you don't understand the scale of where you are.
Where I am and what
which is almost ignorance is bliss at that point. Because you're just playing with house money.
Exactly.
I'm just playing freely. There's no pressure.
There's no pressure.
You don't understand the situation.
You don't understand. So then I'm there. Amazing field. When I tell you, amazing facility, my friend. Oh my God. And I'm like, damn, if I sign here, maybe I won't go back to Asia. But if that's what I have, obviously. So I remember that year, it was a year the MLS was going, the Players Union was in negotiation with the MLS for like salaries and stuff like that, trying to make the league better, trying to have players get more salary, and they're trying to come up with a different CBA. And the players were ready to go on strike. And a lot of players that were signed to the MLS team, if they're on strike, they cannot play with the second team. So they kept 12 of us during that period. If there was a strike, we would automatically sign to the first team. Well, 15 of us. We would automatically be the second team and play the USL Championship. And I was in that list. And at the last minute, they found a deal with the MLS and players end up. So now, obviously, how they work is a lot of players that are signed to the first team, they send them to the second team to get some minutes if they're not getting a lot of minutes. So they don't need as many signed players to the second team because they have enough. And back then, players can go back and forth. And now the league has changed and the championship has gotten stronger, so they don't allow MLS players to come back and forth. It's just like as they please. Yeah. And now also there's basically no second MLS.
They have their own league.
Exactly. So, anyways, that was a great opportunity for me because I got to see, be like in a big MLS team who has done so much and who would do a lot after that because the very next year they won the league. Yeah. So that experience was amazing. So now I'm going back to Asia because I signed for this team, right? And I'm super excited because now I'm like a little bit, and say more experienced, like 2015. I'm excited. Let's do this. So I sign for this team, Samut-Sakon. And when I signed for Samut-Sakon, their goal is to get promoted
from two to
one. So. Another year, not in the top flight, but, as a foreigner there, it's just so much pressure. That's what I realized. And I think that helped me grow a lot because, I went from not knowing much to, okay, now you are the guy. You have to make a difference. You have to perform. And you're making so much more money than the local guys, and you have to perform. And I didn't understand it much, so I didn't feel the pressure. I was just happy to be able to play and have the opportunity and make a decent amount of money and score goals and things like that. So that for me is exciting, and playing in front of a crowd. I was not used to that. So for me that was exciting. And that's when I really started watching football, watching the Prem, I was watching European football, it's
it's so funny.
It's crazy. No, I'm telling you, the story is not even crazy yet, my friend. I'm telling you. So I'm in Asia, I'm in Thailand another year, and I'm playing really well. We end up getting that promotion, okay? We end up winning our league and getting the team promoted. That same year, I get an offer from a team from Vietnam.
So you get promoted from
T2 to T1.
T1, the top league in Thailand.
The top league. Now, I get an offer from Vietnam to come play there. And it's an amount that I had never seen in my life before.
Right.
You don't understand. So it's like way more than I ever made.
Right.
So for me, at that time, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is, of course, I'm gonna say yes. Like, because over there they give a lot of short-term contracts. So I was just on a year contract. And then obviously I knew they were gonna renew me, but at that time it's like 1 year, done.
Next
Do we
season.
want you again? So I go for a visit. They fly me out. I go for a visit, train a little bit, and then I heard that, Vietnam is so much harder at that point to sign because they only take 2 foreigners at the time. They used to take 5, now it turned to 2, and then currently I think it's back to 3.
Yeah.
So it's so difficult to sign there. And I'm like, wait, they want me or they don't want me? It's like, I come there, I'm sitting, I'm visiting, and there's like 17 people trying out for that one spot. I'm like, but why do they have people trying out if they want to sign me? So
and they've already offered you a contract.
they already offered me a contract, so I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, okay, I'm a little bit, skeptical. And then the foreigner who had already signed there, his name is Oseni. He won the U17 World Cup with Nigeria, like back in I think 2007 or something like that. He had been playing there for a very long time, so it's very well known. And I was supposed to be the other attacker that's gonna partner up with him.
Right.
And my agent was like, the boss wants to know if you're okay to train or to play. And I'm like, well, they asked me to come visit. I don't mind. I wasn't expecting to play, but I'm never shy away from it. And when I was looking at who was trying out, I wasn't scared. There was a guy whose name was Okwonko. He's a Nigerian striker who used to play in Bundesliga. You can look him up. He came to try, but I think at that point he was very old because that guy cannot move. And I'm like, wait, this is basically the guy that they were saying, oh, maybe like if they don't find a deal, they will sign him. And I'm like, yeah, let me suit up. Yeah. I suit up, we play against this team. We play friendly. Boom. I scored 2 goals right then and there. I'm like, yeah, it's said and done. I don't see how they can not sign me. And we win 2-0 that game. Yeah. I don't see how can they not sign me and they weren't going to sign this guy. And let me tell you, at that point, I am so fast. I am at the peak of my form, really.
Right.
Like physically, like mentally. And I had already seen what they had offered me, and I'm like, I'll do anything for that. You know what I mean? Like, sign me up.
Right.
Anyways, we end up coming to an agreement, and they're like, yeah, we have to sign this guy. And the boss went and called the other striker. He's like, hey, we're going to sign this guy, and this is going to be your partner and stuff like that. And then right away, the guy calls me to tell me, okay, welcome to the team. And I was like, okay, right there, I feel, okay, that's nice, that's exciting.
Right.
And goes on, and then I signed for that team. Now I'm moving to Vietnam, but it's a quick flight over. It's like from Bangkok to Vietnam is like an hour, like 45-minute flight. It's not even that long. And I really like Thailand at that point, so I'm like, whenever I have some time, I can fly to Thailand. But at that time, I didn't know what Vietnam was gonna be like. And then I started living in Vietnam. I'm like, oh my God, I love it here too. Like, what the heck? You know what I mean? Because I had a girlfriend at that point, and she was a model in Thailand, and she's never been to Vietnam, and she was like, oh, I'm not like going to Vietnam, I'm not moving to Vietnam and whatever. And then when I went there, I tried to convince her, like, no, you should come, it's amazing here. And at that point, she ended up having a gig in Vietnam. Later on, like, we had already broken up, and then she calls me and says, oh my God, you were right. It is very nice in Vietnam. And I was just like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm done with it at that point. Side story. I tried to convince you before. And it's just a lot of times, like, when you're in that field, there's so many things. What I learned is that there's so many ways you can make money in the game that are not necessarily the conventional way. You know what I mean? Like, when I first heard about Vietnam, I was like, Vietnam, they play football in Vietnam? And when I'm there, I'm like, wow, it's crazy.
Right.
It's like, football is everywhere, man.
It is everywhere, and like Vietnam as a country, for example, they pay a lot.
A
I've
lot.
heard that.
Yeah.
And you would never think.
You would never think
You would
that.
never think Vietnam and football goes in the same sentence.
I'm telling you. And first thing, I'm like, okay, I have American passport. Is it gonna be a problem? Because I remember like there was like the war and stuff like that, and so I'm thinking about that. And then the first thing the agent told me, no, absolutely no problem. They love Americans here. Yeah. It's just sometimes the governments have their quarrels. I'm like, I don't get into politics anyway, so as long as I'm welcome, then I'm welcome. Yeah. So I had the year in Vietnam. I ended up playing 13 games, so half a season. Because I started in January, played until like June or July-ish. And now that's where the story starts getting a little bit crazier.
Yeah.
So I've had my stint in Asia. I make good amount of money. I waste a lot of money as well because I don't know how to manage my money at that point. I'm doing whatever. Yeah. I've never had that type of money in my hands, but I'm growing. I'm getting more mature and I'm learning more things. I understand the game more. I understand what is required and stuff like that. I see what people like. I see what people don't like and stuff like that. So at that point, I am thinking differently because, like I said, I started watching soccer overseas and stuff like that. And now the one thing that's on my mind is I want to go to Europe.
Play in Europe.
I want to play in Europe. I feel like this is the model for football. I want to go to Europe. So, but how I'm going to go to Europe, no idea, my friend. I don't have any connections, nada. One of my best friends, Dauda Diba, currently plays like men's league and UPSL. Very, very good player. I always say is the fastest friend I have. It was the one guy, we went to college together. He was the one guy who I always thought, okay, maybe that guy's faster than me, He's like so explosive. He's from Gambia. And we also built an amazing connection from college. We were roommates. We lived together. Whenever I go, like I leave Asia to come back to like Seattle area, I would stay at his house, his family's house. So me and him were like brothers, really. Yeah. So we had an amazing connection. And while I was in Asia, I had brought him there too. I brought him there to to be on vacation and try to get him to play in Asia as well, find an opportunity. Long story short, he ends up finding a connection to go to France, like to go try out. So he's over there, finds an agent, he's trying out. But while he's over there trying out and living at this agent's house, he is watching my games live on TV or on the computer or whatever.
Your games in Vietnam.
My games in overseas in Vietnam. So as interest builds, that agent starts watching my games also with him. Yeah. So they start, oh, who's that? Who are you watching? Or who's that? Oh, my best friend. We went to college together. He's now playing Division I over there. Blah blah blah. Good player. Blah blah blah. And then now all of a sudden I get a message from my friend, and he's saying, "Hey, my agent thinks you're too good for the Asia League, and that you should come to Europe."
That's so crazy. It's amazing. It's amazing the connections.
You don't understand.
And this is from a community college.
I'm telling you.
It's crazy.
That's it. And my friend over there, he's obviously chasing his dream. He loves football. He came from Africa, went to college, went to high school, did well in high school, transferred to that school, and then tried to transfer to a different college. Then now he's trying to find the pro route because you find out it's not very easy. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Who are your parents? Where you come from? Who did you play with? It's all those things, different things that add up to you maybe being on a certain team or getting recruited and stuff like that. You have to be at the right place at the right time, or you have to know the right people, my friend. So at that specific time, he talks to me. I'm like, I'm super interested, but I'm under contract. So how would this work? You had a 1 year or 2 year contract? No, I had a 1 year contract with an option. It's very, very common over there. But with that 1 year, like I said, I would have made more money than I ever made, before. And the bonuses were ridiculously crazy, like per win, per point. Like it was like I'm telling you, it was crazy. And I have ambition, and I want to see what it's like. And at that point, I'm already like 24, 25. It's like, so I'm getting older. Right. I'm especially for soccer, and the one thing I don't want to do is get older and never tried. You know what I mean? Yeah. I said I can try and fail, but if I look back, I always said it to myself, if I look back at my life and said I never tried to go to Europe, I will forever regret it. Yeah. I'd rather say I tried, I didn't make it, than I never tried. Yeah, that was my mindset. And at that point, I started talking to that agent, and he said, do I have your permission? I will. You don't need to sign something with me, but I will talk to certain club sporting directors. They can start watching your games, and if they're interested, they'll let us know. That's exactly what happened. He passed on my information. They started watching. There's a League 3 team called Cholet. Mm-hmm. They were watching my game. There's a League 2 team called Auxerre. Very good League 2 team. They used to be in League 1, but very proper club. They were watching my game and a couple other teams. And after a while, he tells me, you should be ready to come to France because Auxerre wants you to be in preseason with them. And I'm telling you, that's a League 2 team in France. Right. That's finding out after, that's a big deal. But then I'm thinking, man, do I want to go like from League 1 to League 2? That's my thought process.
Right, I'm like, you still don't understand it.
I still understand it. I'm like, okay, but this is Europe, you know what I mean? Right. Like, the level is probably going to be good and stuff like that. And I'm like, but I'm playing League 1. Like, I want to, like, a chance to go to League 1, not in League 2 and stuff like that. And by that point, I really believe in my ability. When I tell you, like, I am on my game, I am, like, I'm telling you, like, people used to tell me, now I laugh at it, but, like, defenders used to tell me, stop running. Because, bro, I would just tire them, run, dribble. Like, I was so good at that. And I'm like, I would love to see what I can do in France, like what I can do in Europe. So this is something, we can look into. But I'm like, how do we do that? Because my contract doesn't end until the end of the year. France preseason starts in July.
And Vietnam is going winter to winter.
Winter to winter.
Gotcha.
So how do I do this? Yeah, because I'm not at mid-season point. So I talked to my agent in Vietnam at that time and say, hey, this is what's going on. I want to go to Europe and try. And then my friend that's playing with me in Vietnam at that time, he said, my friend, I also went to Europe. He said he played for CSKA Moscow. And he's like, right now, if you're not going to maybe a top league team or something like that, he said, you're not going to make the same money you're making here. I said, yeah, I understand, but I mean, I'm still going to make good money to live. And I'm like, but also I can have an opportunity for another door to even make more money.
Sure.
So that's how I'm seeing it. And he tells me, yeah, but I'm telling you, man, like, at your age now, they might look at it differently. And me, I'm thinking, I'm still young enough, man. I mean, look at me, like, I'm still young enough. I can still play or whatever for, like, so many years. He said, yeah, but a lot of times when you don't start, like, with an academy or something like that, or you playing at the top team somewhere, you don't transfer like that easily. But I said, well, this team is giving me an opportunity to have a tryout. And I was never scared of tryouts because every tryout I've ever had, I've always experienced. So for me, it's always like, oh, somebody can say, oh, maybe this and that, but once they see you in person and you can show them in person, it's different. You know what I mean? It's like, and I always believed that. And I was never the guy who was like, oh, no, well, I played there. I'm not going to try out something. I'm like, try out, it's an opportunity. Yeah.
Once again, you didn't know.
I didn't know
that was.
I didn't know. Who am I to be pretentious?
No one's ever told you that.
Yes, right. I'm not used to that. So.
Which is, stop there. That's like, it comes back to like perspective.
Exactly.
If you're not told, then it's ignorance is bliss again. Exactly. Oh, you want me to trial? Sure.
Sure, why not?
Where you could probably say, no, I played here and here. Exactly. I don't want to trial because it could go wrong. You could get hurt. There's many things that could go wrong. Yep. But for you, it was like, yeah, sure.
Anyways, to continue, I am now, it's at a roadblock because I would like to leave and go get this experience, but I don't have a contract offer. And it's probably very ignorant of me to try to leave a team where I'm making a bunch of money to go somewhere where I don't have a contract guaranteed. Right. So then now I have to talk to my club to try to find out how can I get a release or a termination of contract. And Now, over there, they want money. Like, okay, well, you're going to have to pay this amount of money. It's not necessarily fair or legal, I'd say. It's like, normally, if I'm getting an offer, then the team can pay for me and buy. But now they're trying to get me money out of my own pocket. But because, okay, you want to leave, well, maybe on the table, you have to pay this or that, you know? Anyways, we had this conversation. And I'm like, okay, willingly, yeah, I will pay this amount. Give or take around $15,000.
That's crazy.
Pay out of my pocket, which is now looking back at it, I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Looking back at it, I'm like, what was I thinking?
So you were paying them $15,000, say, just to cancel the contract to go to France, or maybe get a tryout.
Maybe get a tryout. No, I had the tryout.
Okay.
But anyway, so first things first. This is where now I start learning the harsher realities of football.
Yeah, the dirtier side.
The dirtier side, and learning. Oh my God! Like, you need to be careful with this. You need to surround yourself with better people. You need to trust the person you're working with, and all that stuff. Because those, I'm telling you, they add up, and they can either make or break you.
Of course.
So I'm ready to go, and I'm excited. But that process that I'm trying to go through, it's not easy. It's taking forever. They don't want to do it. They don't want to let me go. When we finally got to an agreement, it was very late already. But I also don't know what preseason looks like, what the thing looks like over there. So all I know is that the agents tell me he wants me to come. And all I know is that not only that team was talking to him, but other teams were talking to him to bring me.
Right.
But he was talking to me about that team because that's the best option they had.
Right.
Okay? So at this point, he's not even answering the phone calls or the emails of the other teams that are interested in me. He wants me to play or sign with that team because he's like, he knows that's a great opportunity. That's the best opportunity you can get right there, right now. And maybe that's the team that's going to pay me the most amount of money as well.
Right,
commission.
which will make him the most money. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Right,
I'm talking about his perspective.
He's like, I want, exactly. So he's looking out for himself.
For himself as well. Like,
you're just an object to make him money.
Yeah, and
Which is
what,
part of the job.
Part of the job, yes. No hard feelings there. I would want the best for my players as well because he will make more money, I can make more money as well.
Right.
If I was an agent, yeah. But at that point, things are getting late. I don't get my release till like after. So then our contact was a little bit limited, but since I already said I was gonna leave, I'm like, I'm gonna go to Europe. Let's do it. I get it done, and he tells me, I call him right away. Once I have my signed paper, I'm like, hey, I can get on a flight to France. It was a Saturday that he's like, can you be in France by Monday? And then he gives me all the information. This is where we need to fly to Paris. Then you take a train to like a city called Sable, blah, blah, blah. And this is where I live. I'm like, okay, boom. Go online, book my flight. I booked the train thing. Do everything. And then he's like, I'll pick you up at the train station in Sable. So I get there, and then he's like, I cannot believe you're actually in France. But the vibe is good. He's like, soon, like, I'm going to take you to a club. That's what he said. I'm going to take you to a club. And I'm like, in my head, I'm just thinking Auxerre. Like, yeah, like, when we go to Auxerre? Like, when?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what I want.
Is preseason already begun? Is it after preseason?
Preseason is already done, my friend.
So this is like September now?
Yes, this is September now.
Okay.
Actually, end of August.
Okay.
I remember it was like August 25th. End of August, preseason is basically over.
Yeah, they've signed their teams.
They signed their team.
Rosters are full.
Rosters are full. Like, bro, different story.
Yeah.
So then I'm there. Okay, so I was supposed to stay at his house. So I'm at his house, day 1, day 2, day 3. I wake up every day. I go running for an hour. I juggle with the ball. I come back home. I do push-ups, sit-ups, like staying ready, whatever. 3 days, 4 days, a week, 2 weeks. He still hasn't taken me to a team, and I'm like, okay, bro, what exactly is going on? Like, can you tell me? So then now he's saying, well, and then he showed, and I know he wasn't lying to me because he's actually showing me the emails, and he shows me what the teams are saying. He's saying, Auxerre's not responding to me anymore. And I'm like, but what happened? Like, he said, well, this is what happened. So they kept saying, where's your guy? Where's your guy? When is he coming? And I kept telling him, oh, he's coming, he's coming. I said, well, you had to literally explain them the situation because I explained to you what was happening.
Right.
Obviously, you can't just say he's coming, but I'm over here trying to fight to get out of a contract, and you can't at least tell him, this is the perfect leverage. Hey, his team really wants him. He's under contract. He's trying to find a way to get out. Are you willing to make an offer for him? But if not, then can you be a little bit more patient? Let's see how we can get out of it.
You have to be transparent.
You have to be transparent because if not, then they're going to think you're just full of crap.
Yeah, exactly.
So now I'm in the country. I'm ready to go. And I cancel contract. Well, like I said, I'm making a bunch of money. Now I'm over here and I don't have a club and you tell me I don't even have a tryout or I don't even have a club to go train with. He's like, you know what, don't worry. He picks up the phone. He calls the League 3 team, which is Cholet at that time, which he didn't respond to because he wanted that team to sign me.
Right.
So he calls up that coach, well, the sporting director. His name is Yacine Kernou. He said, hey, Yacine, my player's here in France. Can you take a look at him? And Yacine couldn't believe it. Yacine said, what, Ash? In France? No, you have to be joking. They said, yes. He said, okay, we'll call you back. He calls the coach. He tells the coach. Coach wanted me 100%. He said, yes, can he train with us, the team, for 3 days? And then we'll tell you because we don't understand how all of a sudden he's here. Like, it's a little shady. You didn't respond to us.
Right.
He doesn't tell them, Oxette wanted me
right.
and things. He doesn't tell them that, given those details, but he's like, okay, this is what's going to happen. So he sends the information and he say, okay, he's going to take a train to there. It wasn't very far. It's like quick ride. He's going to stay at this hotel. Well, I'll pick him up and then we're going to take him to this hotel. He's going to stay at this hotel for 4 days. 3 nights, 4 days, because I come in the day one, I sleep, then the next day I train, then 2 days after that I train and stuff like that. So basically 3 nights, 4 days. And then I'm like, another one. You know what I mean? For me, another one. But then I'm very upset.
Right.
Because I have no idea what League 3 friends look like. And I have no idea why the heck I'm here. I'm like, I tell her, I'm coming from Division 1. I said, look at my contract.
Right.
I said, you cannot have me here doing this. So now I'm so upset. I'm so
upset. Is this
upset.
the first time in your career where you were let down or you felt like that's wrong? Someone wronged me.
I said,
or I made a bad decision.
Oh, exactly. I feel like I either made a bad decision or someone wronged me. The idea, because I told you, I didn't want to look back at my career and say I never tried to go to Europe.
Right.
You know what I mean? But what I was feeling at the moment, I'm like, that also is not right. You know what I mean? But then, like I said, that's when I started really, like, understanding the backside and the back doors of certain things and a lot more things that I didn't know about. Starting to understand and learn them. So I get there. Let me make this brief as possible. Same thing. I get there. I train for 3 days. Coach loves me. Wants to sign me. Coach said, okay. He said, we have to get you signed by Friday. Okay? I'm like, better for me. I'm like, perfect. So then I was a professional player outside of France.
Correct.
Now I'm learning there's so many rules now in France.
Transfer window.
Even there, it's not even about the transfer window. It's about signing me as, well, basically now I'm a free agent, and apparently when you're a free agent, you can sign like at any specific time or
Correct.
whatever. You're not necessarily transferring from a club, but there are certain rules financially from the UNFP that are set up. I was making a certain amount of money in Asia, and for them to be able to sign me, I need a specific contract. And for them to give me that specific contract, they have to pay me a specific amount of money, and it's like a certain percentage of what I used to make. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's complicated, because now every team, before every season, there's a financial institution called DNCG who does an audit on every team to see, okay, can you sustain and can you be in that league? If they find you cannot, you don't have the financial backing, they will literally relegate you to either a lower league or 2 lower leagues.
Really?
Literally.
And this is for how many leagues in France? Top 3?
No.
Every league?
Every single league. Like, it goes up to, like, League 9 or League 10 or whatever. Because you have League 1, you have League 2, you have National, you have N2, you have N3, you have R1, you have R2, R3, and you have DRH. It goes all the way up to like, you can literally be a League 3 team and you get relegated to League 6 or 7.
Because you don't have money anymore.
Yes.
Right.
And that's the thing they're very, very, very strict about. Another thing, you can be a League 3 team, but you have they already did the audit, and they say, okay, this is the certain amount of money you can spend given the projected revenue you're going to have and all that stuff. And in order for them to go ahead and spend that money on me, they would need to either prove extra financial backing or they have to show where they're going to come up with that type of money. Because they don't want it's like organized, right? They don't want you signing a player with this contract, but then you end up not being able to pay.
Right.
So it's to avoid all that stuff. Anyway, I find out, the sporting director says, so we wait 3 days, right? After 3 days, it's like Saturday. And we're like, oh, why am I still not signed? And then he said, the sporting director said they're trying to do everything they can, but they don't think that the NCG is going to accept that contract offer because you were making too much money in Vietnam. And they don't think they can match that at, I think, like something like 75 or 80% they had to pay me from what I was making before. And I was like, what kind of stupid rule is that? Like, at that point, because at that point, I'm like, oh, also, while I'm training with that League 3 team, I was like, oh my God, these guys are good. Like, I'm seeing the level as well. So, and at that point, like, my mind, I'm more like at ease because I'm like, why the hell am I on the League 3 team? And then I'm like, man, like, this is really good. I'm not comparing to the MLS, but I'm saying this is what I felt.
It's better than Vietnam.
It's what I felt when I was training with the Sounders.
Right.
That's like, like really good players, like athletic players, like players who know, like tactically, it was different, bro. It was like speed of play, different level. And I'm like, this is my game. This is what I love. Like I can play here.
Right.
But then when I felt like I fit into that team like that easily, and the coach wanted me right away, then I was like, damn, I wish that was with the League 2 team, because I would have preferred that opportunity as well, So things go on. I can't sign for that team. Now I'm another hole.
Because of this financial rule.
Because of this financial rule, not anything like sporting wise. No, just because of the financial rule, I can't. Now I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? Like, what are we doing? Now, he starts taking me to other teams, like another League 3 team, or let's find out first if they can do that. This is the rule. He takes me to a League 4 team. At that point, I'm like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to be here anymore. And then you know what I said? I told them, you know what? I'll give myself that chance, and I'll give you this chance. I give myself 2 to 3 years in France or in Europe. And I said, if at that point I don't make it or I don't make any progress, I'm going to leave. Okay? Yeah. I would leave knowing that, okay, I had tried and I'm going to make that decision and leave. So he's like, okay, fine. I end up going to, listen. So I go from here, right? I go through it and I'm finding how hard it is to sign or whatever. And I'm good enough, but I can't find a team that has the money to sign me. So I'm like, you need to take me to a team that has the money, or like, take me to a League 1 team, for God's sake. And then he's explained to me how complicated that is. Like, they have to have had scouted me and things like that. And I'm like, well, then you're not connected enough then. It's like, take me to another League 2 team, and it's the same. So he takes me to this League 4 team, and same thing. Same exact thing. They seem like, oh yeah, we think we can offer him, they call it a federal contract. Because when you're in a league, like a League 4 or League 3, they can give you a professional contract, but it's called a federal contract at that point. But they pay like so much taxes. It's like they're paying the salary 3 times, basically. And it becomes expensive for the team. And they're like, yeah, we can give him, but we have to change his status from professional to amateur. And then there we can, and then they thought they could do it, and then they can't do it. They cannot do it. Yeah,
so this team doesn't work either.
This team doesn't work either. But if you go like on my transfer market, it will show you that
Yeah, I'm looking now.
It's called Vendée Football.
Yeah, Fontenay.
Fontenay. So that team.
September 17, 2017.
Exactly. So that team.
This is the 4th league team.
This is the 4th league team, okay? But they they and Fort Lee team is like, if you sign for a top Fort Lee team, they're trying to play for promotion, right? That could be a
Is
good
that regional,
situation.
that league?
It's also regional, yeah. Okay. That's regional.
The third league is also regional?
Third league is not regional.
Okay.
Third league is one.
Countrywide,
countrywide, yeah. So that's why I think 4 teams drop from, 3 teams drop from third league, and then 1 plays a playoff or something like that. And I think 4 teams from League 4 go up.
Yeah.
So it's like that, yeah. And we try everything, and at that point I'm like, I don't know what to do. Maybe I will not be able to sign, or I have to wait till January and let's see what opens up. And do you know, I ended up signing for a team called Chateaubriand. Chateaubriand, they are in League 5, but they are trying to survive because the coach that was there before had a lot of good players. He took the players, he went to another team and took all the players with him. Now they're trying to rebuild, and all they want to do is survive that year.
Just stay in the league.
Just stay in the league. Don't give in. Then they're going to try to go back up because, anyways. So at that point, I'm like, okay, I have no other option. I'm going to be here. I'm going to stay. Can they give me the contract? First thing they do, they put me in a very nice house. I think one of the owners had a nice house, and he put me in there to stay. Okay, first thing. And then now we talk the money and stuff like that. And I don't want to reveal like too many things because, I mean, I'm sure there are certain things they did that was not very legal.
Sure.
But ended up finding a package to give me enough money, but at the same time, they did not give me that federal contract. Now, I don't understand how they did it, but that's one of the reasons I left after that year, because I was like, how can they do that? Like,
yeah, they did. They find some loopholes.
They found some loopholes, and they did it.
It happened. Okay? It happens in Germany also.
Anyways, but that year I played, still playing as a striker. First 5 games, I scored in every single game. That's a good sign. Yeah. Like, I'm playing football again. It's not where I want to be, but I'm like, I see kind of the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm like, okay, if I can, do well, stay fit, maybe after the season, I'm going to try to do this.
Right.
I'm going to try to do that. So I played the season. I think the second half of the season. I scored 7 goals, I believe. We stayed in the league, so the job is done. Then I have a meeting with the president. I'm like, hey, I know he owned like a meat company or whatever, and I told him, hey.
The Layover hoodie is out now. Select size is still available on our website, footwork.club/shop, or follow any link in our bios. It will be the best hoodie you own. We personally guarantee it.
I have a meeting with him, so I basically tell him, look, we're gonna have to come to an agreement because whatever you guys did, I told him right away, I think it's illegal. And I mean, I'm not going to anyone, but you have to find a way to make it right, because I tried to do this or get this and I can't, because as a foreigner, I need this to do even my visa.
This is my question. So
I don't have a work permit.
You don't know how you got your visa?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or were you there as a tourist?
Yes, okay. I'm working as a tourist.
Yeah.
I don't have a working permit.
Right.
So I'm like, how are we doing this?
So you're still on the tourist visa for that little part of the season?
Part of the season, yes.
But how did you stay over 3 months?
I don't even remember. I think I even overstayed my visa or something like that.
Oh, you just overstayed it?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you can get an extension if you're applying.
Yeah, but no idea. And I think when I was leaving, I think there were certain rules, and that maybe there's certain exemptions, maybe since I'm American. But I think if they maybe had found out I was like working stuff like that, maybe we could get in trouble. But at this point, like, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know that this is what I'm supposed to do. I just know I'm trying to get like what you call it, like carve vitale, which is the medical card that you can have access to Medicare and stuff. And I'm like, I don't have access to that. That's the basic stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I need to be able to do this and to do that. And they're like, yeah, you're right, and blah, blah, blah. And I ended up there's an American that bought a team in France. He was trying to buy a team called Troyes, which was in League 2. It didn't go through, but he ended up buying a team, Morehouse, FC Morehouse, who used to be in League 1 and League 2. Is a big, big team in France. And then he called me because he's from Portland, Oregon. It's like the world is so small. The world of football, I'm telling you, is so small.
We've gone over that before.
Yeah, we've gone over that. So thing goes around, he calls me and he's like, hey, I want to sign you for my team and stuff like that. and I can do your visa, and I can give you a professional contract.
Right.
And I was like, okay, that
And
works
they're
for
in
me.
League
League 3
3
at the time. And I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
of course. And I'm like, okay, give myself a chance there, and then maybe see what happens after. So I come back. I remember during that period, it was like 2018, I believe. Yeah, 2018, because it's very next year.
Yep, July 1st, 2018.
Yeah, because, So then I signed with them, and then I come to the U.S. In San Francisco, because I was basically living, I had the Seattle address, so I had to come to this side to do my French visa. That took time, because I think the people doing it didn't really know. So I missed like a little bit of preseason. But
So you had to do your visa outside the country in France?
outside the country in France, yeah. You can't do it while I'm in there.
Okay, so little side note here.
Yeah.
In France, you can't just go there as an American and do your
You
visa.
cannot go there.
You have to do it
You have to
in
do
America.
it in your country
get your visa,
of origin, and then
you can go.
So you can always go there, and with the tourist visa, you can try it with the team.
Sure.
You can get a contract, but to work there legally, you have to come back to the U.S. and get your visa with the papers that they're gonna give you.
Got it.
Apply at the French consulate, making sure they got to make sure everything is right. They have to make sure the club applied for the right licenses for you, and then they'll grant that visa, that working visa, and then you can go and work in France.
Wow.
And that's exactly how it happened. It took about maybe a month, but I got my visa. But during that time, my club sent a letter to San Jose and to Fresno Fuego for me to train and stay fit while I wait.
Okay.
And it's crazy. And that's how I ended up training with Fuego at that time. And Adam Smith was the coach. They were in the championship at that time. I trained with them. And then when it was time for me to go, I went back to France.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you came back here, and while your visa was being processed,
In San Francisco,
you were training with the Fuego.
I was training
was in the championship at the time.
they were called Fresno
Fresno,
Foxes.
yeah.
Fresno FC. Yeah.
Wow.
So I go back. I have it was a very complicated year for me that year, and it was the first year I started getting like injury. Like I had like a bad ankle injury. I had a quad injury. Like I was trying to get my form, and then finally I got to play and stuff like that. Finish the season. And I started thinking, I was like, man, I feel like I can't catch a break. Like what I really want, like what I'm really hoping for is not what I'm really finding. Then I transferred to another team that had a lot of ambition. They used to be a top team in League 3. It's called SR Colmar. And this team is trying to move back up. They're trying to get the team back up. And they have all the backing. Compared to Mulhouse, they had all the backing of the city, the mayor, everything. Because the people used to love how the team was, always going far in the French Cup, fighting to get promoted to League 2. So they're trying to get that feeling again. And they're like, okay, let's try to find like the best players around. And I ended up signing for that team. It was great. They gave me a car, whatever. Anyways, after that season, I was like, you know what? I think that's it for me. If I don't go somewhere else after that season, I think I'm gonna go back to USA and try to see if I can sign. The one thing I kept doing though, which I realized, is I fell in love with Seattle so much because I think it was my first experience with like a big professional team. And every time I had a little bit of time or I had time off, I would come back to Seattle and try to train with the team and maybe try to see if they could take a look at me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And somebody always tell me, a lot of times, even the place you might call home may not be where you're welcome. He's like, you have to try elsewhere to see maybe if someone would open the door for you. And I started thinking about that, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I have to forget about Seattle. As much as that's the one team I would love to play for, let me try somewhere else. Let me try to see what am I gonna find? Where I'm gonna find an opportunity? So I decide I'm gonna come to US, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll start with the USL and go into the MLS or something. So I look at everything. I get connected with Edson Bottle, who used to play for US national team. And we become friends. He's like, I'm trying this new thing. I'm gonna become an agent. I'm with this agency right now. I can connect. He's like, I'm not an agent yet, but I can connect you with the president of the agency, and he can try to help you. And at that time, I have good experience. I played, overseas and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, should be fairly simple to play in the U.S. So I contact the agent. He's like, actually, yeah, we have your games. I'm gonna send you some teams and see if they're interested and stuff like that. But one other thing I find out, when an agent, most agents, when they are presenting you to a team, they don't go, hey, I have this one player, you know, like you can take a look at it. I found out at least how that agent would do it, and I found out a lot of agents do it. They have a packet, a bundle of like, I don't know, 10, 15 players, and they send all of them to a club and tell me which one they're looking for. And I'm like, what? Yeah. So you can go under the rug like that.
Of course.
And imagine how many other agents are doing that.
Exactly.
So then I find this out, and I'm like, wow, this is hard. And guess what? So this time I come here. And
here as in
Fresno. Okay. I come here. I wasn't even trying to play for the team. I was like on vacation, and I had missed a couple friends. I was training, and I was online. And then my agent told me he talked to every team. He's just waiting for an answer. And this is where the story gets crazy. So I'm online and I see open tryout. And as I've come to learn, an open tryout is even worse than a tryout that you're invited to. An open tryout is a bunch of randoms who pay money and try to go and find a team or sign somewhere. And like, knowing what I know now, well, I'm happy I did it, let's say that. But if I would say somebody, yo, I'm going to this open tryout, they were like, what are you doing? Like, no, that's not how you do it. You find a way to talk to the coach directly or the assistant, and then you get them your CV, and they might invite you to preseason or something like that. That's the proper way to do it, where you have the highest chance.
Right. So
I see Sacramento Republic has an open tryout, and this is like, I don't know, $175. So I'm like, oh, that's nothing. I can pay $175 to go, like, just to have some fun. I'm not doing anything. Why not? Like, let's go. So then I tell my agent, I'm like, hey, I signed up for this open trial. He's like, what? Why? He said that's one of the teams I sent the stuff to. And in my head at that time, I was a little bit skeptical because I had already dealt with something with the agent in France, and I'm like, yeah, you send my stuff to everybody, but nobody seems to want me or seems to be interested. So I got to make a move myself, you know?
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know what's going to come out of it. I'm just going to go there and have fun. I love football. You know what I mean? I really do. So I signed up for this thing, and they send me all the info and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'm excited. So I show up to the trial, and I come, man, it's like 200 people. And then they set specific, they set a certain way where they have you play like a little small-sided and things like that. And I'm there, like I'm an attacker, striker, winger, you know. I'm enjoying myself, playing really well. Like, I'm definitely a standout player there. But there were other good players I could see. Then we go, I think, I don't remember if we did it over 2 days or morning and then afternoon, but it was multiple sessions. And then they said they split the groups. Now they're going to make teams and make 11 versus 11 for the afternoon session. Yeah. So then the morning session that day, I scored like so many goals, and then I even scored like a nice free kick too. And then I'm like, oh, that felt really good because I hadn't scored a free kick in a long time. Normally, like in my team overseas, I would take PKs, so I would always take PKs. And I was like, that's the first time I took a free kick, and scored. It was very nice. So like I was feeling good, and I'm like, ready for this afternoon. Let me go recover, go at the hotel, and then I come back in the afternoon, and the coach is giving like when I get there, some teams were already playing, and I'm like, oh, those two teams playing, they were not very, very, like, they were not comprised of the best players. Yeah. And all the players that I had personally scouted, was like, okay, this guy's pretty good. All of them were out waiting with my group as well. I'm like, oh, maybe they saved this game for the best players to play against each other. And then it was actually the case. So they split it up, and 11v11, and like I said, all my life, I've only played since when I started learning how to play at 16 and a half, 17, and started playing like at 17 and up. I was always playing striker or like in the wing or something like that. So you know how when they're given a lineup, they start with the back line and stuff like that. So I heard the goalkeeper and this team, goalkeeper, left back, Ash, left center back, right center back, and then right back. And I'm flabbergasted. I'm like, wait, what? I went to the guy, I said, I'm sorry, I think you put my name on the wrong spot. I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, is it Ashkanov Apollon? He's like, yes. Are you number whatever? And he's like, yeah. And at that point, but long story short, before this happened, in the morning when I was killing it, this guy came to me. He's one of the assistants.
Same guy.
No, not the same guy. He was the goalkeeper coach, but he was from France. And then he started talking to me. He's like, hey, where are you from? And stuff like that. And I'm like, that's a sign that somebody sees something. Because,
of course,
and trying to find out who I am and stuff like that. I was like, oh, yeah, actually, I was just playing in France. I played for Morehouse. He's like, what, Morehouse? He's like, I'm from Morehouse. And he talks to me about how he knows about this team and stuff like that. And I think he's like, wow, we have to talk after. And at that point, we're speaking in French.
Right.
I'm like, this is super cool. Which forms a better connection. So then in the afternoon, I'm asking whoever the coach was at that point, why am I left back? And then that guy was in the booth with the head coach. And then he realized that I was having that conversation, and then he came down. And then he said, look, right now, we don't have a left back, and that's the one position that is open in the team. He said, we put you there because we believe you can play it, and it could be an opportunity for you. Once he said that, I'm like, you say no more. I'm like, you don't need to say anything. I love that fact. You don't need to say anything. But you know where I've heard that before? I was training with Seattle Sounders, first team. Like I always tell you, whenever I go there, I don't play as a winger or attacker. I play as an outside back because they have all the wingers. They're not going to put their winger outside back and put me as an... Yeah. So, and then Jimmy Traore, who used to play for Liverpool, who was a left center back, left back sometimes, he came straight to me and told me, he said, hey, you have a lot of potential. You know, if you learn playing left back for like a whole season, you could play at a high level.
Right.
And I always... remember him saying that. But for me, what I'm used to, I love freaking scoring goals. I love attacking and things like that. So for me, it's not really sinking in. But at the same time, it's like, damn, a legend, a player that's played at the highest level, won Champions League, told me this. Like maybe something I could consider as much as I hate it. And then this situation happened, and that's the first thing that I remembered. I'm like, wow. Would that be it? But in my head, I'm like, yeah, I could do that. And then once they're going to see I can attack well, then they're going to put me back in the front. Mm-hmm. So I end up killing it at left back. When I tell you kill it, I didn't lose a single ball. I was confident, going up and down. And right after that, the head coach came down, Mark Briggs. He shook my hand and said, congratulations, son. You've been formally invited to our preseason. And then I remember I called my friend up. I'm like, hey, this is what happened. No, I called my agent up and I told her, hey, this is what happened. Coach just told me this. I said, I promise you I will sign. I said, there's no way that I do not sign for this team. I told him right away. So then I ended up going into preseason. Within 2 weeks into preseason, they finalized my signing. They signed me. And I'm with that championship team. And I went on to start every single game for them at left back. And that's when I started playing and learning how to play left back.
All right, I'm going to pause you here.
Go ahead.
You played in Thailand, Vietnam, France, and now the U.S., and you were always coming back to the U.S.
Yes.
But talk about the different styles of football in each of those countries.
When I was in Asia, which is my first experience professionally, I realized... how technique they were. They were so focused on their midfielders, and these guys are always really good because they're really good with a lot of the Asian guys are good with both feet, really technical, really tidy, 1-2s and things like that. They were very, very, very good. What they lack was more size and athleticism. Which they make up with by getting certain foreign players and things like that. So that's one thing I learned. And then in France, the game was really, really fast. Athletic guys just running. That was the difference. And then America, while I was in France too, when people found out I was from America, they're like, oh, Americans can play, like, because I found out there was a stereotype about Americans that we're not good at soccer.
Yep.
And I'm like, I know a lot of Americans that are good at
still
soccer.
exists today. When I was in Germany, it's the same thing. They don't know. They don't know how big it is here.
Exactly. So then to start, like, I'm like, oh, that's a stereotype that has to change, because I knew America, like they just breed athletes.
Right.
And I'm like, if people take it seriously here, like, we can have so many good players, and it's so diverse here. It's like one thing I saw. And then the thing here is like, it's so diverse. You have big guys, small guys, everything, a mixture of everything. Is just that the culture is still growing in America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I saw where the MLS and the USL, like 10 years ago, when I first was being introduced to it, to now realizing how much further it's gone and how much it's grown. And I'm telling you, I used to go to the MLS games when players were making $20,000, $30,000 a month, huh? I mean, a year, to now the minimum wage being, whatever it is, 80 something or whatever. So I know the league has grown, and then to see all the superstars that have come ever since to the league, and now look at Messi's playing here and all that stuff. So I realize there's a big change, and I think the trajectory is going
in the right direction.
In the right direction. So, yeah.
And coming back, so I mean, when you signed in the championship, when you went from France, the third league in France, to the championship with Sacramento, how was that jump in level? Because I know you said in France, we've spoken about this before, it's very fast-paced, transitional, but so is the U.S.
So is the U.S. That's the thing. So then I'm realizing, oh, the soccer level is actually good here. But like I was, I'm not saying advanced, but I already had so many different experiences, and like felt what people might call pressure, and felt like relied on that. It was easy for me to adapt, but the way I got into the team, and everybody was making it a big deal, like the Fox, like news, like if you see the news articles and the things that came out, it's like, oh, like finding the diamond in the rough or things like that. It's like, no, I was under your nose the whole time. I'm already a seasoned pro. Like, it's just that you didn't know about me until I had to come to you, basically, and which is kind of
through an open trial.
Yeah,
which is rare.
Which is very rare. And I also learned that. Like to sign, like it's not a lot of people that sign for a team through an open trial, but then go on to playing every single game and starting for that team is completely like the things like that don't happen like that.
Right.
And I try to explain, like, and my friends would make that joke, like they don't know where you've been and what you've already done, so they try to take that story and run with it. But you've been a pro for a while now, and you've gone through your ups and downs and all that. But that's when certain doors started to open up for me. Started to open up for me, because remember I told you I went through ID camp in Haiti for a national team, and then I started to understand the football more, and I started to understand where I was, where I wanted to be, and looking at my peers and looking at where they are and how they got there, and also like what I can do with what I have. Because I realized I'm never gonna be Neymar. You know what I mean? I'm never going to make that money he's making right there. Look at the stage I am, look at where I am. But I can still make the most out of my path and out of my situation. And I had been in contact before I went to France with the Haiti national team. Because I realized, like, okay, I can have an opportunity to play for Haiti more than United States, because if I was playing for a top club or whatever, like maybe, I would maybe try the USA route or something like that. Or like I said, had I gone here and gone to the MLS and I was killing the MLS or something like that, or like started playing left back early or something like that, I was like a great left back in the league, then would have probably been different. But that I would never know. I'm just saying, seeing how it was, what if I was raised in France?
Sure.
I could have been a PSG player. You don't know. So you never know. It's just that wasn't my path. And like I said, the things I've learned is like to take that in my transitioning when my kids want to do certain things, then I can have a better guidance, give them what I didn't have. Because I got so many things that my dad didn't have. You see what I'm saying? I went so much further than my dad could ever even imagine.
Right.
My dad named me after a soccer player. He tried to name me Ashkanov because he was watching a World Cup where two Eastern European teams were playing, and one of the teams, their names finished in Nov, like Atanosov, and the other one, and Ski. So I don't know if it's Poland playing against Bulgaria or something like that, but he wanted to call me Ashkanov. And it's my mom who said, no, we don't want the skin in, just call him Ashkanov.
Wow.
So it's crazy. So then to see now that I found my path and try to do the best I can from what I knew at the time and what I was given. Because I will promise you, my friend, if I were 19 now and were to start my career now with everything I know, I'd be somewhere else.
Of course.
I would have gone directly to Europe.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I would have probably stayed in college for one more year and go to the draft.
Yeah.
Knowing what I know now, do you understand?
Of course.
So yeah, knowledge is everything, and sometimes you go through things, and because you don't know, because you don't have the right guidance. But full circle, I'm so proud of what I've been able to do and what I've been able to experience. And I'm telling you, the richest thing you can have is being able to travel the world and see different cultures. And
completely agree.
I've done that, getting paid to do what I love. I was almost 17. I didn't know I was going to do that. You know what I mean? You know how many people start playing so young and they don't get to do that, you know? And yet alone to do it for a living. Full circle, my friend. I am now playing with Sacramento, playing every game. And next thing I know, I'm getting a national team call-up from Haiti national team.
So that's when it happened.
That's when it happened, when I started playing left back.
You never got
an invitation.
Until you come to the U.S. to play with Sacramento as a left back, and then you get the call.
And one thing I started learning, like good left backs, they're scarce. Like teams are always looking for left backs, or like the national team has a problem of left backs and things like that, you know. And the news outlet contacted me, had an interview, blah blah blah, and I'm like, this is exciting. And I'm getting selected for World Cup qualifiers. And I'm like, never in my dreams did I think about something like that. Now I'm like an international player. Like I get to go play.
Mind you, you're 28, 29.
29.
At this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not even. How do you call it? I remember I always go to think about Jamie Vardy. His story is like so touching to me, and I kind of try to relate to that. Yes, he's played at the Premier League, won the Premier League. It's like that's like the pinnacle of the example you can take.
Sure.
But I look at that and I'm like, man, in life you can never give up, honestly. No. Because who would have known at 29 I would get called up in the national team?
And you got that opportunity through an open tryout,
which is a joke. Which is a joke, my friend.
Because generally speaking, open tryouts, it's a money grab. They're never going to sign anyone from that. Very rarely does it happen.
Very rarely.
Let alone you get signed, go to preseason, play the whole season as a left back, and then you get your international call at 29 years old.
Crazy.
That's
then
crazy.
I started being like seeing different perspective, like being grateful for different things. I'm like, maybe that brought me here. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe I could have done this. Maybe I shouldn't have left, or maybe should have. But all of that brought me back there. So. Made the most of it, really. I was super happy, man. You don't understand. My dad hadn't watched me play a live soccer game ever. Only on TV or like on video on YouTube. And the first game my dad got to watch me play was the first game for Haiti in a World Cup qualifier that I'm starting in the home stadium in Haiti. My friend, I'm telling you, I had never been that emotional until the national. I'm in there. The national anthem is playing. I needed a break before the game started. I was emotionally overwhelmed. Like I could not explain to you how overwhelmed I was. Because it's like I hear the national anthem, I'm like, wow. Because I remember when I was back in school, in high school in Haiti. Remember my friends who. I told them when I left, man, I want to play soccer. Like I want to them being at the stadium to watch me for that game, playing for the country. For me, that's my biggest achievement.
I would say
it's and we won that game 2-0. I started that game, against Belize, and man, it was amazing. It was amazing. I went on to have I think 7 caps for the national team, which now I'm still trying to go back to the national team because I feel like I want to end my career in that. No, the coach that was there before that used to call me. We have like 2 new coaches from then. So I'm trying to find a way where obviously I need to be performing and playing day in, day out and being in a, like, I'd say, in the right environment and try to get back in the national team because we still have World Cup qualifiers coming up again to try to make the 26 World Cup, and now with the new format and with USA, Mexico, and Canada hosting it, those are the teams that normally kick us out, so they don't have to play qualifiers. So then it's more chances. There's a chance for a Caribbean maybe, and we're one of the best teams in the Caribbean. So it's a lot of competition right now because we do have a lot of good players that are playing in high levels and stuff like that. But I never say never, and obviously, as a goal for me, I'm always gonna push and try to get back, into that. So, yeah, man.
I love it. That's crazy. I mean, that is a full circle moment too.
It's a full circle.
To think that you started playing at 17, where you show up and you're like, I don't know what position am I at.
Yeah, and to then being able to play for that national team and
only 11 years later, mind you.
Yeah.
Or 12 years later.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So reflecting on the journey right now, what things would you say have helped you become a pro? So why did you become a pro, and why are you still going?
As I said in the beginning, I think it's how I fell in love with the game. When I first moved to Haiti, seeing how the passion was and how people appreciated it. When I was here, I had access to every field, but I never played it. Then when I came back, I tried to make use of every available field I had to me. There was no excuse for me not to train because I had fallen in love with it. I didn't know how much money I could make, where I could go, and stuff like that, where soccer could take me. I just wanted to play it because I found out, oh my God, like I started playing so late, but I can be good at this. Like that intrigued me. And that love for the game is what I still carry, and that's what keeps me going, honestly. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. All right, some fast feet questions. Fast feet round we call, quick fire. Favorite player growing up?
Ronaldinho.
Favorite moment in football?
Personal?
Yes.
This is my debut for the national team.
Most difficult moment in football?
My transition from Asia to France.
Yeah, I was going to say that, figured that. Favorite place you've lived? You've lived in many places.
I'd say 2.
Let's give foreign and domestic.
Okay. Favorite place I live here in the U.S. is Florida.
Okay. Where in Florida?
Tampa Bay. I mean, not Tampa Bay, West Palm Beach.
Okay.
And then foreign, I'd say 2 places. It's Bangkok, Thailand, and I'd say Paris, France. Yeah.
Nice, very nice. Best advice you ever received? There's a lot you could say for this one. You dropped a few bombs this episode.
Yeah, I think one of the most ones is the one coming from Jimmy Traore. It's like forget about being an attacker and consider playing left back, and maybe you could go further.
Yeah. There's something to that too, not to stay on it, but you see a lot of left backs. Most professional left backs at the top level were always a winger.
Always a winger, yeah.
And they're converted.
It's crazy, yep.
It's amazing to see, be a winger at the highest level, you really have to be
like
so much better than everyone else.
That's true.
Or otherwise you can become a great left back.
Yep.
Best player you've ever played against and with?
Against Messi. We lost bad, but best player I played with, I would say Duquesne Nazon.
In France?
No, it's the striker that plays for the Haiti national team.
Okay.
He currently plays for a Division 1 team in Turkey right now. But yeah, goal scorer.
Nice.
Crazy.
If you weren't a footballer, what would you be?
I'd be a musician, 100%.
Musician?
Yes.
That's right. What is your hidden talent? Well, you're a man of many talents.
Yeah, I mean, I play the piano and stuff like that.
You play the piano and you play it really well.
Yeah.
When did that start?
When
did you start that at 25?
When I was 15.
Okay.
One of my birthday gifts was a piano, and then I started learning by ear, like by myself. And
you're like a savant.
Yeah, and then fell in love with music and stuff like that. That's one of the things that whenever I'm stressed or not feeling well, that keeps me kind of grounded and gets me like back to a peaceful mood. Just playing the piano or listening to it. Yeah, for sure.
The final one: any quote or mantra that you live by?
Oh man, live the life you love and love the life you live.
Brilliant. Well, Ash, thank you for coming on. Your story
appreciate you having me, man.
is astonishing. I knew it already, but I didn't know the details of it. It's even more crazy. And to say that, okay, you could have done this or done this, I mean, it's insane because
it's a long shot.
Talk about make your own path. We started with that question. Exactly. I mean, this is an insane path. And I think it shows too, your pure love of the game is the reason you say you left your biggest contract in Vietnam. Like, oh no, mid-season, let me go to France blindly.
Yeah.
Because you're like, this is my dream. And I mean, it's worked out thus far.
Yeah.
You're still going. You still got the wheels. So
Still going.
we'll see where it ends.
We'll see where that goes. I appreciate you having me, man. Thank you. It was a pleasure, man.